Hi, Diddy. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Lydia. I'm also known as Diddy. I'm 20 years old and I'm at uni studying religious studies.
Great. Diddy, how did you hear about the short break service?
I was looking for a job, so I went to my uni job shop, looked in the booklet there, found some information on the kids short breaks worker, took a photocopy of it, and I went back to my room and had a look at their website.
Excellent. So after you'd had a look at the website, what was it that made you want to apply?
I looked at the frequently asked questions, and I looked at the Be a Short Break Worker section of the website, which was really useful. I was still a bit apprehensive because I hadn't much experience working with disabled kids, though I had a look and there were some really good parts on the website, and I just thought I might as well go for it. It's a bit of a challenge. It will develop me well in my later life as well and look good on my CV.
Good. And I imagine also that the job was able to fit around your uni studies and your uni hours.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good. Okay, so after you'd looked at the website, what was it that helped you make your decision?
I looked at the Be a Short Break Worker section of the website, and I saw there was online training. I saw that there was lots of different things. I just thought it would be a really good thing to do.
Okay, so you'd seen the job advertised, you had a look at the website, and you made your decision that you wanted to go for it. What happened next?
I filled on the online application, and I sent that off. I was then asked for an interview with the local supervisor, who was really helpful, and I was able to ask lots of questions. I then filled out a CRB, and when that came back I was able to start the online training.
Okay, online training. What does that involve?
That was a bunch of modules that were about an hour long, and they were easy enough to go through. I was able to fit them around my uni work, some of which were compulsory that I had to do before I started working with the children. The modules were actually quite interesting. They had lots of information, some pages with links to other websites. There was some case studies and some quizzes, and at the end of each module there's a 10 multiple question test which you take, and then you know if you passed or not straight after you finish the test, and then you can go on to the next modules. And the modules that weren't necessarily compulsory, you could choose that would be good to do against the families. Take for example, I am working with a child who uses PECS, and there was a module on PECS, which is a communication system.
Well, that sounds really good. So would you say that you enjoyed the training?
Yes, very much so. I learnt lots of things with the training. I found it very useful.
Good. So what happened after that?
I filled in a profile about myself, which is just basically a questionnaire on who I am and the things that I do, and my availability as well. Then I was offered to do a short break with a family. My first family was Mohammed, and I was this request was sent via text message and email. I then emailed back saying yes, I'd like to, and I got another text and email as confirmation. After I got my confirmation, I was able to look at Mohammed's profile and his family's profile. I found out a little bit about him. I found out that he was 15, had learning difficulties, and he liked singing, dancing, playing in the garden. I also found out then that he used PECS as well.
So it was quite useful to be able to look at the profile of the child.
Very much so. I found out a bit more about the child before I actually met him, therefore it was easier to get on with him when I first met him.
Good. So what did you do when you first met the family?
I was really nervous actually, but the family put me at ease. They were really honest, really open, very supportive. I knew that Mohammed liked the song Wheels on the Bus. So I took in a toy of Bertie the bus, which just happens to be my little brother's, and he loved that, so we broke the ice quite quickly there. And the family told me more about his communication system, which is picture exchange. So take for example, he wanted a drink, he'd show me a picture of a glass of juice. And they told me a bit more about like his personal care and his toileting and that kind of things.
Okay, so when you were saying earlier on that you felt as though you were a bit nervous to start with, and it was really the family, was it, that was able to reassure you?
Very much so. The family were very supportive, and I felt that I was able to answer lots and lots of questions, ask lots and lots of questions, which they were very, very good at answering for me. Also, my supervisor was available to answer lots of questions, and the frequently asked questions part of the website answered a lot of questions as well.
Good, brilliant. And have you been asked to go back again?
Yes, I've now been working with Mohammed for about 3 months. We went to the zoo last week actually, and having watched the film Madagascar, Mohammed really likes giraffes, and we got a chance to feed the giraffes on the big platforms, and ever since we've been making some masks of giraffes and singing The Animals Went in the Ark by Two, which is he really enjoys that as well. So yeah, I'm also working with 3 other families, so I do about 12 hours a week.
Excellent, that sounds really good. So when you first started, what would you say that you were most scared of doing?
Meeting the families to start off with, and being in different environments, as well as working with lots of difficulties I hadn't necessarily worked with before. But I was put at ease by the families, which was really, really good.
Good. Okay, and was it as scary as you thought it might be?
No, not at all. The families were just so good at answering questions and being honest and open with me, and were able to tell me things about toileting, which is something that I was quite nervous about, as well as communication systems and that kind of thing.
Okay, that sounds good. And what would you say was the most enjoyable experience that you have had so far?
Just seeing the smiles on their faces, on the children, but not just the children, the families as well. With Mohammed, we made biscuits for the first time. It's the first time he's done some cooking. And with another family that I'm working with, she's just learning how to use verbal communication. And for the first time she asked me to use a toilet, which was a really good feeling that I had, that I'd participated in her using verbal communication.
Good. So if you were down the pub and somebody said to you, I've just heard that you've started up this short break service. I don't know about this. Quite interested but not sure. What would your response be?
I would say have a look at the website, have a look at the Be a Short Break Worker part, because it's just so good at answering a lot of your questions. I can't say how good it is. I get paid to play, really, and it fits around my uni work, and it's fantastic. It gives me experiences I wouldn't necessarily find in other places.
That's grand. Thank you, Diddy. Much appreciated.